You know that feeling when you grab the cheapest USB-C speakerphone you can find, set it up for a quick zoom, and half the meeting ends up with people shouting over static? I've seen a lot of folks bite that cheap and cheerful bite, only to regret it when the audio drops out or the mic can't pick up anyone across the room. That kind of buyer's remorse makes me pause before I even click Add to Cart. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So today I'm looking at the Yealink MeetingBar A10 paired with the SP96 USB-C/a speakerphone bundle to see if this feels like a smarter purchase instead of a gamble. First off, the hesitation most people have isn't about price alone. It's about whether the device will actually fit the way they work. If you're a remote-first team that meets in a dedicated huddle space, you need something that can handle a group of 5 or 6 people without turning the conversation into a chorus of echo. If you're a solo freelancer, you probably don't need a full-blown video bar hanging on the wall. The MeetingBar Plus SP96 tries to sit right in the middle, big enough to be useful for small room collaboration, but not so massive that it feels like you're buying a conference room system for a kitchen table. What makes this bundle stand out is the promise of 2 professional-grade audio options in a single package. The MeetingBar itself has an integrated microphone array that can pick up voices from across a typical 10-foot room, while the SP96 gives you a separate speakerphone that you can place on a desk or mount to the side. In practice, that means you can switch between a wall-mounted all-in-one mode for scheduled team meetings and a desk-side mode for ad hoc calls without pulling out a different device. I've tried a similar setup in my own home office. The bar stays up, the SP96 slides onto a small stand when I'm on a quick call, and the software toggle handles the handoff in a few clicks. No fiddling with cables or replugging devices mid-meeting. The software side is where a lot of cheap solutions trip up. Many budget speakers rely on a clunky Bluetooth pairing that drops when you walk a few feet away. Yealink's desktop app, however, lets you switch the audio source with a simple drop-down, and it remembers your last choice, so you're not constantly reconfiguring. For a team that rotates between a standing-up scrum and a longer brainstorming session, that kind of fluidity cuts down on friction. The real win here is not the raw specs like microphone count or frequency response, but the fact that the switching feels like a natural extension of your workflow rather than a technical hurdle. Now let's talk about who actually benefits from this setup. If you run a small office, a co-working space, or a home office that doubles as a meeting room, you'll appreciate the dual mic flexibility. Imagine a weekly client demo. You mount the MeetingBar on the wall, fire up the screen, and the built-in mic captures everyone's questions without the need for a separate handheld device. After the demo, the same bar stays in place, and you pull the SP96 onto your desk for a quick onion-on catch-up with a colleague who's working from a different time zone. The bundle essentially future-proofs that little corner of your office because you can add more peripherals like a USB-C camera or an extra monitor without overhauling the whole system. On the flip side, if you're the type of user who only hops on a call once a week, or if you work from a cramped desk where a wall mount would be overkill, this bundle might be more hardware than you need. The SP96 alone can handle most solo calls, but you'll be paying for the MeetingBar's wall mount capabilities that you never use. Also, the setup assumes you have a stable Ethernet or Wi-Fi connection. The microphone array is sensitive to latency, so in a spotty network environment the audio can feel a beat behind the video. That's not a flaw in the hardware, but it's a hidden trade-off that cheap alternatives sometimes hide behind a lower price tag only to reveal performance issues when you actually need them. A practical strength that shows up once you're using it daily is the expandability. The bundle includes both a USB-C and a USB-A connection on the SP96, meaning you can hook it up to a laptop, a desktop, or even a tablet with the right adapter. In a real-world scenario, I've seen a team swap the SP96 between a Windows laptop for a project kickoff and a MacBook for a design review, and the audio quality stays consistent. The ability to move the speakerphone without reconfiguring the entire system saves a lot of time, especially in environments where hot desking is the norm. What you won't get is a high-end broadcast studio mic, but you also won't get the disappointment of a microphone that can't hear the person on the far side of the table. The built-in bar mic has just enough range for a typical